Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This is an extension that my dad made up. This is a purchased extension and it originally comes with set screws in it, just like this one. The set screws have hex sockets in them, and when you use a hex key, which is the actual name of it, the Allen wrench was the manufacturer. It's kind of become synonymous with hex head cap screws or hex head screws. Instead of calling them socket head cap screws, they call them Allen bolts because Allen made the wrenches. Set screws with a hex pocket in them have a tendency to have weak walls and they'll crack. You get one in a situation like this one where you have it in a deep hole and you want to tighten it up really tight so that the drill bit doesn't come out that far into the wall so that you can't get the darn thing out and it's stuck, and then you have to drill another hole beside it. It's just really a bad day. So people tend to over tighten them, and when they do that they'll split the set screw, and then pretty soon the set screw no longer works and you've tightened it and the shank on this extension is pretty narrow because you want to have it small enough so that you don't have to use a giant drill bit to get the hole through the wall. So the set screw is just a little bit into that thread, and you'll strip the thread out of the extension. When you're working on your own and you're trying to get by with what you got, you take your extension and you braze the drill bit into it and you say, well, that drill bit is now extended. Or you take it like this one, where somebody said, gee, I need to drive something out of a hole. And you hammer on the end of it to the point where the hole is closed up. This one's going to have to go in the lathe and be reworked. This is something that the telephone company has. It's a 3/8 spade bit. Some people call them paddle bits. I've always called them a spade bit. It's a 3/8 spade bit with an extended shank on it. They work really nice, they don't cost much, and they don't come apart in a hole. And when you're only running telephone wire through something, this is a really nice thing to have. You can also get one of these. This is an Irwin type drill bit, and this one's got a bent shank on it too. The long ones have a tendency to get bent. Probably have to straighten this one. You don't use them very often, but when you do need one, it's a handy thing to have. Especially for something small like this. This is a 7/16 diameter. 7/16 diameter, you can see that you couldn't have that big shank on there and make it work. So I have a lot of odd drills. This is another one somebody welded on a shank on. When you buy toolboxes at garage sales, you'll find a lot of these. This is an extension that I got from my dad years and years and years ago. He never really got it to work too well. I ended up cleaning it up and finding out that the reason it didn't work too well is it only goes a certain way, and if you don't use it the proper way, it won't hold on to the shank. So I cleaned this one up, put it together, but it sat out in the garage for a good long time and I didn't wax up the shank on it. This is nickel plated so it didn't rust, but the shank on this one got rusty. I'm gonna have to clean this one up too. And then you have the guys that wanted to do giant holes. Great big holes in barns. They took a auger bit, one of those old T-handle augers, and welded a shank onto it. And then put a driver end on this end and used it to drill God only knows what. But it ended up at my house. And this one needs work too. Well, that's not all the extended auger bits that I have, but it's enough for now. There's a whole toolbox that I'd have to dig through and a drawer that I'd have to dig through. But this will give you an idea of some of the extensions that I have and some of the drill bits and how guys got by. If you have any suggestions for a new video or questions about this video or any of the others on the channel, just drop a note in the comments below. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.